The interactive movie Enter the Matrix is not a lost media per se, but the methods required to experience its story are inconvenient. We have already explored how The Matrix was expanded beyond the original trilogy, encompassing animated shorts, comic books, and video games. However, the Wachowskis' boldest gamble came with the splitting of the plot of the first Matrix sequel, The Matrix Reloaded. They split the story between a video game, a film, and an animated short film. On May 14, 2003, Enter the Matrix, the video game, was released in stores. An innovative video game for its time for sure, due to it not being an adaptation or a video game tie-in of a popular movie, but rather a separate and essential part of a larger story. It is highly recommended to play the game to better understand the film Matrix Reloaded. Back then, it was easy to get your hands on a copy of the game. Games were cheaper at the time. If you couldn't buy it, you could rent it at any video game rental store like Blockbuster. But now, 20 years later, Enter the Matrix is only available through the secondhand market. Your options are either to buy a copy from an online store like eBay or go to a retro video game store, which for many people is not convenient or even possible. At the very least, used copies of the games are very affordable, but would also require the need of an Xbox, PlayStation 2, or GameCube to play it. To this day, the game has not been re-released for any modern consoles or PC, physical or digital. This makes Enter the Matrix one of the most difficult pieces of Matrix media to consume. That is, unless you watch a review or walkthrough of the game here on YouTube, to which we are going to contribute to the accessibility of this forgotten interactive film. So join us in our exploration of this lost part of the Matrix universe. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Larry and Andy actually wrote this video game, Enter the Matrix. It's a script that they wrote, a story that directly relates to the movie.
In the video game, there's certain information from the film footage that you don't get from the movie.
Damn, not who I was hoping for.
Before we get into the story of this video game, it is crucial to understand what Enter the Matrix is. As we just said a few moments ago, Enter the Matrix is not simply a video game. It is an essential piece of the Matrix's expanded narrative. It is a companion piece to the Matrix Reloaded plot that many fans have overlooked or have forgotten, and that the general audience doesn't even know it exists. Not everyone is capable of playing video games, which made access to its content limited even for the time when the game was new. Enter the Matrix was made by the Wachowskis, the creators of The Matrix. The game was developed in conjunction with the sequels. The intention was for the game, Enter the Matrix, as well as the animated short, Final Flight of the Osiris, to serve as gateways to the events that take place before and during The Matrix Reloaded. The Wachowskis wrote and directed over an hour of exclusive footage for the game, shot on 35mm film.
The Wachowskis had a piece of story to tell that they didn't really have time for in a 2-hour movie, where they would have told it if they had a 3-hour movie, and we get to do it in the video game.
Larry and Andy insisted that the same, incredible kind of resources that are used on a film set were used for this video game footage. That meant that all the same equipment was used, the same film stock, that the same actors, all the same crew. There were hundreds of people on this set, and they're working on a video game.
This material expands on the events of the sequels, providing additional context that is vital to understanding the plot in its entirety. The game centers on Niobe and Ghost, supporting characters from the films whose importance to the overall Matrix plot has always been understated, as you will soon see. Niobe is the captain of the ship, the Lagos. She is the best pilot of the Resistance fleet, and was a scrupulous and decisive leader, except when it came to prophecies. When she was a young woman, she was in a romantic relationship with another influential leader, Morpheus, but the Oracle interfered in their relationship, causing the partnership between Morpheus and Niobe to break down. Niobe always doubted Morpheus's dedication to the fortune teller's prophecies, and nothing and no one could ever make her believe in those tales.
I don't believe in the one. I never did.
Now, Ghost's story has always been lighter in context. His most notable aspect was that he was in love with Trinity, but again, the Oracle intervened. She revealed to him that Trinity would never feel the same way about him. Both Ghost and Niobe were victims of heartbreak because of the Oracle and the purposes she had in store for them.
You asked me one question, if she would ever love you. I told you only as a friend, as her brother.
The game's plot is played out between in-game cutscenes and live-action cutscenes, with the same actors from the films, including Jada Pinkett Smith and Anthony Wong, lending their voices to their in-game characters and portraying their characters in the live-action cutscenes. Now let's get into the game. It begins with a conversation between the Lagos ship operator Sparks and Ghost.
Look at him. Like flies to cow pies, crawling over every drop we ever used.
We didn't have a lot of time.
A lot of time. Wrong, we don't have a little time. Look, I don't mean to be Mr. Naysay, but you really think you got a chance in hell at getting to that thing before they find it?
I don't know, but that won't stop her from trying.
Come on, Ghost. It's crazy.
Sparks, how long have you been operating on this ship?
3 years.
And you ought to know by now. When she makes up her mind, you have one choice. You go with her, or you get the hell out of her way.
It does feel like the agents are watching in on the conversation, doesn't it? The risk of the mission is high, but it must be completed.
We scouted the post office.
Is the drop still clean?
Niobe, this won't be easy.
Thaddeus was my friend. I knew him. He never used a drop before. He didn't trust him. Whatever's in that box cost Thaddeus his life and the lives of his crew. And I have a feeling if we don't get to it first, it's gonna cost us a whole lot more. So are you red or blue on this?
You know me, Niobe. It's not a choice. It's a way of life.
Sparks is clearly worried about the mission, pointing out how dangerous it is to try to complete it without the support of an additional crew. However, Ghost and Niobe are determined to continue forward. Like Morpheus and Trinity, these red pills often do not follow orders. Sometimes they follow their instincts. The first mission of the game takes us to an office building where an important package was left behind for the Resistance to find, and the Lagos' crew is there to retrieve it. To enter this location, the player must fight many enemies inside the simulation and traverse deep into the office building. The objective of the mission is to recover a package left behind by Captain Thaddeus and his crew from the ship the Osiris. This package is of utmost importance because it contains vital information about a terrifying discovery. After Ghost and Niobe confronts various Matrix minions, they escape in a car. They must reach the exit, but the chase inevitably leads them to a confrontation with the agents. Unlike Neo and his crew, where they fought agents and survived, this game puts us in the shoes of lower level red pills, who still use the #1 rule when confronting an agent.
Run.
Now about the package. What did it contain? Inside was the last message from the Osiris, a message that contains the future of the Matrix story.
Right now, all I want to know is what's on that disc.
The retrieval of the package and its contents is what leads to the summoning of ship leaders and active duty soldiers at the beginning of The Matrix Reloaded. They were there to discuss the warning of the coming destruction of Zion.
Let's get going, because you know Morpheus is not going to show until after we get started.
I agree. I don't like us all being in the same place for too long. Why don't you tell us what this is all about, Niobe?
The machines are digging. Are we ready to go?
We're already late.
These geotherms confirm the last transmission of the Osiris. The machines are digging. They're boring from the surface straight down to Zion.
So how did the Osiris get access to this information? The answer to what happened to this crew lies in another expanded Matrix story. Final Flight of the Osiris is the story of the ultimate fate of the Osiris crew. How did they get the information that thousands of Sentinels are heading towards Zion? We will be discussing this story in our next video. For Matrix Explained, Please leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.